Good morning. I know I have a nice, loud, deep voice. Okay, good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Desert. My name is Lance Phillips, and I'm happy to be your worship associate for today. As we begin, we acknowledge that we are on the historic homelands of the various bands of Kauai people, and we honor the unique relationship we have that we hope emerges between our community and the indigenous people and their traditional territories. Let this acknowledgement serve as a reminder to recognize, honor, and reconcile and partner with the Kauai people whose lands and water we benefit from today. In this congregation, we welcome people of all sexual orientations and gender identities, of all ages and sizes, people of all economic statuses and professions, of all physical or mental abilities, people of all races and ancestries and cultures. We welcome you wherever you come from, whoever you love, whatever your immigration status or civil engagement is. We welcome all those who will learn and grow with us as we commit together to embrace the rich and beautiful diversity of the world, and we build a community centered in justice, compassion, and love. You are welcomed here. We're glad that you're with us this morning. It is important for us here in the community to create a safe and healthy environment for everyone who gathers in worship, including those who are compromised or have other respect. Sometimes my mouth does not work with my brain in the morning. You can all relate, I'm sure. Our COVID protocols are in place because we wish to do everything we can to protect all of us. Please choose to act for the health and safety of our community. Our service is always available streamed on our website if you need to observe from home. We have a few announcements this morning. First, I'll invite up Joni Paddock, and she will give a brief announcement.
Thank you. I just wanted to remind everybody that this Saturday at 2 p.m. in the community room, we're going to be Zooming the Celebration of Life memorial service for Evelyn Kane. If you were the fortunate recipient of any of Evelyn's art, we would encourage you to bring it with you. And if you want, you can wear what Cheryl and I call the Evelyn hat, and I have a picture of this. This happens to be the order of worship for the service. So please join us if you're able. If you want to observe from home and you want the Zoom link, just drop me an email. Thanks.
Now we have another announcement from Shirley Lemaster. Of course.
Good morning. I'm so excited to tell you about the upcoming script to stage to screen production. It's our first ever murder mystery, but it's not gruesome, it's not gory. Think Murder, She Wrote. It's set in coastal Maine. There's a murder mystery festival going on, and one of the attendees dies. And it's revealed throughout the play why no one is sad about it, and everyone there is a suspect. So join us Friday or Saturday night at 7:30, only $10, and see if you can figure out who done it.
If you would like to be on our email list to learn more about us and our programming, please contact us at admin@uucod.org. And now, let's ring our Tibetan bowl to begin our service, and then listen to our music for centering.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome. I am Ian Riddell. I have the honor and joy of serving this congregation as its minister. However you found us, however many times you've been here with us in person or online, welcome. As you can tell this morning, we have some new microphones. and we are learning how to live with them together. So thank you for your patience. Our AV folks have been hard at work to make sure that we have the sound that we need to have, and we'll get it. And I appreciate you all being here for this. We are a congregation grounded in our commitment to love and an evolving tradition that celebrates the richness and beauty of individual lives and commits to working together to weave a tapestry made stronger and more vibrant by our collaboration and by the sharing of our lives and our visions for a thriving, loving future, just future for all of life. Here we are, gathered together at the beginning, the birthing of a new day, awakening again to the possibility, the hope of together seeing anew, of learning again the pain and joy of our neighbors and kin, of hearing again our covenanted call to make the world holy with all of its creatures whole and thriving. May we answer that call as we gather to worship together today. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit as we sing our opening hymn, number 1031, Filled with Loving Kindness. The words are on the screen. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be
Now, for our chalice lighting and unison aspiration. May love be the spirit of this church. May the quest for truth be its sacrament, and service be its prayer. Who dwell together in peace, who seek knowledge and freedom, and who help one another in fellowship. This is our aspiration. Now we'd like to invite up Bob Rancourt for our BIPOC candle lighting. We light these candles in solidarity with Black, Indigenous, and other people of color as they journey towards spiritual wholeness. May we, as a beloved community, work to dismantle racism and all forms of oppression. May we live out our principles so that justice, dignity, and equity for all prevail. Now for our reading is from Teresa I. Soto from Spilling the Light. We hold hope close. In this community, we hold hope close. We don't always know what comes next, but that cannot dissuade us. We don't always know just what to do, but that will not mean that we are lost in the wilderness. We rely on the certainty beneath, the foundation of our values and ethics. We are the people who return to love like a North Star and to the truth that we are greater together than we are alone. Our hope does not live in some glimmer of an indistinct future. Rather, we know the way to the world of which we dream, and by covenant and movement forward of one right action and the next, we know that one day we will all arrive at home. Now I'd like to invite up Gloria Kapp.
Good morning. Most of you have probably seen me running around UUCOD doing different things for social justice, but today I'm representing Safe Schools Desert Cities, where I serve as Vice President and Scholarship Coordinator. And we're going to share some information about Safe Schools with you. First, I want to mention that Randy Steele and I have put up a challenge grant, because if we can raise $1,000 for the scholarship fund, then UUCOD will be recognized as a scholarship donor by Safe Schools Desert Cities. And we appreciate all the support UUCOD has given to Safe Schools in the past. First, I want to introduce a guest who won't be speaking, but we have the Honorable Raymond Gregory, who happens to be on the City Council in Cathedral City, and he is the treasurer for Safe Schools. You're going to hear from our president, Eric Ornelas, who is wearing many, many hats to coordinate several events and lead a group that's an all-volunteer organization. His day job is a communications specialist at Sunnyland, so he's a pretty busy fellow, and he took time today to talk with us. And we also have a guest student, Elwin Agtang. He's a student at College of the Desert, be finishing his associate's degree in biology as well as a pharmacy technician certification. And Elwin's going to share some of his thoughts with us via poetry. At the end of the presentations, we'd ask the ushers to come forward and take the offering for today. And now I'd like to ask Eric to come up and speak on behalf of Safe Schools.
Thank you, Gloria. I appreciate that. And thank you all for having me here this morning. So recently, an organization, a national organization called the Trevor Project, conducted a national survey of LGBTQ plus students. And in that survey, they found that 45% of LGBTQ plus students seriously considered taking their own lives because of the struggles that they're facing. Now, Safe Schools Desert Cities has been around since 2012 to try and support our LGBTQ plus students. The work that we do is for the Coachella Valley middle and high school students. We reach out to their Gay Straight Alliance clubs, GSA clubs, which can actually mean many different things, but basically this is a student-run club, a school-sanctioned club that the kids that identify as LGBTQ plus and their allies can meet in a safe space in the school. And so we reach out to these GSA clubs and we offer them support. We offer them financial support. If they want to purchase, say, club t-shirts or something like that, we provide some resources for that. We offer them education and other types of support for their organization. For their club. And we also produce events. So we have the Rainbow Youth Summit, which is coming up in March. It's held at the UCR Palm Desert campus. And it's basically a day where they can listen to inspirational speakers and participate in workshops and discussions. We're preparing for a summer leadership and empowerment camp, which will take place in June. And then we also have two other big events that we have are the Pride Prom, which comes up in May. That's typically held at the Air Museum, the Palm Springs Air Museum. And then at the end of the year in November, if you've ever been to Palm Springs Pride and you see those hundreds of middle and high school students walking down the parade route, and that is Safe Schools. We do invite the kids to march with us in the Pride Parade. And then we also host a youth zone at the Pride Festival, which is a space just for the kids. We don't allow any adults in there. So our overall mission is to support these kids, to help them move through this very difficult, which can be a very difficult time in their lives, and support them as best as we can. And of course, we have the scholarship program as well, which, Gloria, it leads that program, and one of the recipients of that program is with us today, Elwyn, and I'd like to introduce Elwyn to the stage, who's going to read a poem about his coming out.
Hi there, good morning. My name is Elwyn. As you know, I am a COD student. I'm doing my associate's degree in biology while also finishing up my certificate for pharmacy technician. To begin, I would like to thank Safe Schools Desert Cities organization for awarding me towards my educational and career goals. Second, I would like to thank Gloria for her support and guidance throughout the years. Lastly, I would like to thank this organization today for giving me the chance to honor and speak my piece for today. This piece was started and written by me on my freshman year and by my English teacher, who asked, "What do you believe in?" And I know I believe in is change, whether change in our environments or change within our hearts. So I hope you guys love it. This is my favorite piece I wrote. And yeah. All I remember are those two words: I'm gay. For myself, I have to accept it day by day. To be or not to be, that is the question. Openly gay or stay with tradition and religion. Coming out to my family, man, that's scary. All that pressure that I had to carry. I don't see myself as one color, I'm the whole box. Remember playing dolls with the girls in the sandbox. He hid himself in order to fit in, knowing that being gay was his sin. When I was innocent and little, I call you my mama. But now that I've changed, I give you so much trauma. Mama, you knew I was different and I won't fall in line. For my sexuality is one thing you can't decline. Every second, every minute, every hour, I ask what is the matter. You look at me like I'm the Mad Hatter. I'm now grown, but I'm still learning. However, your acceptance, I'm still yearning. I'm sorry, Father, I end the family line. Please stop saying that it's just fine. You forced me to sports and told me how to be a man, yet that didn't fit my own plan. Mom, Dad, I didn't mean to tear your hearts apart. I want to make things all right, but I don't know where to start. Depression, pain, and heartache was there all along, making sense of where do I belong. I didn't plan in life to fall short. However, I found people that gave me support. At first, my sisters, now my best friends. You knew I was gay. The two of you put me in makeup and told me I slay. Both of you taught me how to be authentic. You know you love me for being dramatic. You both helped Mom and Dad see the light, as the need for acceptance was now our fight. As years passed, my family grew and I understand our love for one another will continue to expand. Mom, Dad, thank you for coming to my shows, seeing your son dancing in his little tippy toes. In life, I know that there are moments that are a drag, but however, I am and I will own the word fag. As I grew older, I'm a diamond that will continue to shine bright. I am a proud Filipino gay man, and I know I'm all right. Thank you.
Thank you for your donations to the working of this church. I'm Jane Beth Stover, and I've been asked to give a testimonial as to why I'm a Unitarian. Is this too loud? Is it okay? Okay. Well, they've asked the right person because I love this faith. I love the openness, the inclusiveness. I love the freedom of this church. I love the church itself, the little church that could, the little church that does. And I love all the wonderful people I have met here and the warm, giving people that are in this congregation. So I am a walk and talk and advertisement for Unitarianism. Why I'm a Unitarian starts way back. I grew up in a family that was Episcopalian, strongly Episcopalian. We all went to church every Sunday and put our quarters in the donation, all of my sisters and I. My father was in the vestry, my mother was in the choir. I identified myself as an Episcopalian, and that was just fine until I went to college. And then when I came back, I began listening to what we were really saying. And it would begin with, I believe in the Father, the Son, the Holy, and I found myself having to do a lot of bleeping during that. I'd go, I believe in bleep, 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 bleep. Pretty soon I was bleeping the whole thing out. So after college, I left the church, although I did take from it the love of our religious family and the music and the sermons and the warmth of the church. In the 70s, I was living in Berkeley, and I became interested in Eastern religion, and I studied and attended a Hindu faith from northern India called Sant Mat, and it was a very deeply spiritual time for me. I learned to meditate. I learned to try to attain the higher power and higher enlightenment, which I'm still working on. I became a vegetarian. It was a very, very wonderful time. And I took from that I have a great deep yearning for exploration and desire to delve into the universe and the powers in our spirit and the holiness. And then, being in Berkeley, I bumped into the Quakers. I would drive down past Berkeley campus, and there they would be. There'd be like 10 to 15 people all silently in a row, holding up their signs, protesting the Vietnam War. Every time I drove by, I saw them there. So I said, I got to go check these people out. So I went to their meetings. And I was totally impressed with them. They're very simple in their religion. They believe in equality, the stewardship of the earth. And I was totally impressed by their nonviolent social activism. And I thought, it's important to walk your talk, not only to what you believe, but to walk it. Then a couple of years later, I was dating a Jewish man, and he took me around to the festivals and celebrations, and I grew to respect that faith also. And although we were more partying than I was studying it, but what I took away from that time was how they cared for each other, what a strong community they had, how they worshipped and yet they played and they took care of each other. And I thought that is really important. So then fast forward and voila, I bumped into the Unitarians. And when I studied the Unitarian, I said, this is it. I'm home. It had everything I wanted. Had the music and the readings and so forth. Beautiful music from the Episcopal Church. that I had attended. It has a very strong sense of caring for each other, looking out for each other. It has a commitment to equality. We have strong social activism. We are stewards of the earth, and we are like the Quakers in that. And it's also a very safe place without dogma to explore your beliefs individually or alone, as you like. My husband and I, when we moved to Portland, Oregon, I joined the first church there, and that was in 1990. And wanting to belong and to give back to this church, I looked for ways to serve. And I joined the lay ministry group there. I was a lay minister for 8 years. As a lay minister, we companioned people there who were in need. And it was a wonderful time. I have never forgotten the people that I companioned. The lay ministry group was a very supportive, wonderful group in itself. And then they asked me to join the board, and I gladly did so. I was relatively new to Unitarian Universalism, and I thought this is an opportunity to know how the cogs, of the machinery work. I can sort of like open the door and take a peek behind to see what really is being said and what's being planned in the church, and I welcomed that, and it was a very important time, and I think that's a great way to give back, to an important way in which you can give back to the church with your input and your ideas, and so I thank them for that. And then as life goes on, in 1970, oh boy, I didn't think I was going to do this. In 1917, my husband died. I'm sorry. I can never say that without wanting to cry. And a light went out in my life, and I no longer saw in color. I saw only in black and white. And then in 2019, I was invited down here to Palm Desert by none other than Cheryl. Thank you, Cheryl. And she brought me to UUCOD. And I fell in love with this church. I fell in love with the people here, and I joined in 2019. Reverend Barbara was our minister then, and her sermons and the music and all the wonderful, warm, caring people here helped heal my heart. It was like the sermons were, I would weep, right? I would sit in the pews and I would weep all my way through. And I thank you all for helping heal me. And I'm glad to say today, I see in color. So while I've been here, I have been trying to find a way in which, sort of wandering around the different organizations and committees that we have, what way that I too might be able to help here. And I worked some on Sacred Grounds, and I still love Sacred Grounds. I'm on the nominating committee, and obviously in the choir. And most recently, I am the chair of the yard sale. So I'm going to give a little plug here, and I want to give a shout out to two wonderful women who are co-ing this with me and helping me. I couldn't do it without them. And one is Janice Dunn, and I see her back there. Raise your hand, Janice. And the other one is Marilyn Walsh, and I'm going to say hi to Marilyn. She could not be with us today, but thank you. And our yard sale is going to be on March 17th, which is a Friday, and Saturday, the 18th. We're accepting donations March 13th, which is Monday, in the community room. So empty out your closets and your garages and bring it all in. We need lots of help, and that's what I love about this church. Everybody does chip in. Everybody helps, not only with donations, but with the volunteering to make this a success. So we need people to help price. We need help people strong people to get the tables out, the day of the sale, to schlep the boxes out and put the stuff on the table. We need cashiers. We're going to have a table out there. Come talk to us. We've got sheets where you can sign up. And it's a little or as much time as you can give. We appreciate it. So I've come to the end of my testimony. And I want to thank you for asking me to speak. Although this is the end of my testimony, it's not far from the end of my life here and my love for this church. So thank you for listening, and namaste.
Blessed be, blessed be, blessed be the living tree. Blessed be, blessed be, blessed be the living tree. Blessed be, blessed be the living tree. Blessed be, blessed be, blessed the living tree. Blessed be, blessed the tree. Blessed be the living tree. Blessed be, blessed the tree. Blessed be, blessed the living tree. Blessed be, blessed the tree. Blessed be the living tree. Blessed be, blessed the tree. Blessed be, blessed the living tree. Blessed be the tree. Blessed be the living tree. Blessed be, blessed the tree. Blessed be, blessed the living tree. Steady and true, rooted in love, shelter and peace, below and above. Blessed be the tree, blessed be the living tree. Blessed be, blessed the tree. Blessed be, blessed the living tree. Sing to the sky, rise from the earth, seasons come round again, the earth to the earth. Blessed be the tree, blessed be the living tree. Blessed be, blessed the tree. Blessed be, blessed be the living tree. Blessed be, blessed the tree. Blessed be the living tree. Blessed be, blessed the tree. Blessed be, blessed the living tree.
wonderful inspiration for the day. Friends, will you join me now for a time of prayer and meditation? Spirit of life, fire of our hearts, source of all hope and joy and struggle. We gather here with our hearts broken in sadness. We gather here with our spirits hopeful for the future. We gather here ready to do the work of building the beloved community and seeking strength and support in that work. We hold all those we have named today in our hearts. We hold the people of Turkey and Syria in our hearts as they struggle with massive grief and destruction. As we breathe together, we wish for all love. We wish for all safety. We wish for all the knowledge that we are not alone. Hope and safety and love and togetherness grow in this world because we build them. Because rooted in love, we find the strength and the connection and the inspiration to help each other, to help ourselves. Even when our hearts are hurting, even when our spirits are wandering, we pause together and breathe in the knowledge that we are part of a love that is broader and deeper and more hopeful than we can know. So we breathe into the space and pause in the quiet embrace of that love. May all beings know peace. May all beings know an end to suffering. May all beings know love. Will you join me now as we sing our hymns for meditation, Spirit of Life and Fuente de Amor? Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, in Before I start my sermon, I want to remind you that next week's service will be happening outside on the patio. The reason it's happening outside on the patio is we're inviting some furry friends. You are invited to bring your well-behaved pets, if you would. I am not bringing my own dogs, I'm sorry to say, but because they can't handle that. But your well-behaved pets on a leash or in a cage. It could be a cat, a dog, a bird, a lizard. When I did this in Las Vegas, our music director brought her horse. But we will be meeting outside on the patio. If you have a folding chair that you could bring with you, we have some chairs, but if you have a folding chair you could bring with you, please do. And we're going to have some fun out on the patio next week. And there are many joys that come along with inviting non-human animals into your home and your heart, aren't there? Lots of licking and cuddling, new opportunities for cleaning, the gift of unconditional love. And those of you who share your life with dogs will probably know that being out in the world walking with them brings many more opportunities to interact with our neighbors and perhaps talk to people we might not have talked to before. My husband and I moved to the desert just 6 months before COVID hit, and we were just starting to get out and about and meet people in our new community when everything locked down. But we still had to get out with our dogs, and so we got to know many of our neighbors and the layout of the streets around our neighborhood. And we found the Rancho Mirage Dog Park just across the road there, where we've met some wonderful people. Folks from all around come to that park to let their dogs get some social interaction and also have some time with new friends made by showing up week after week after week. We talk about politics. We talk about the weather. We talk about the ups and downs of our dogs' health and their habits. And at this park, at least once a week, one topic of conversation is the church across the road. Us. We joke in Unitarian Universalists sometime about needing an elevator speech, a short description of who we are as Unitarian Universalists, which can be tricky sometimes to make it short. Apparently, it's also handy to have a dog park. People ask about the labyrinth. They ask about the principles we have on the stone outside, about the signs on our outside walls, about what we believe in and how we work in the world. I do my best to share who we are, even if it's 6:30 in the morning. I talk about the fact that we are non-creedal, that we celebrate people having a wide range of beliefs and practices. I might share a bit about covenant after a little while if they're still listening. And they usually do, because the dogs have to play, right? And I often say that our tradition, our practices, our work in the world are centered in the values that grow out of love. That love is the core of why we gather and how we strive together. Earlier, Lance shared the words of Teresa Soto. We don't always know just what to do, but that will not mean that we are lost in the wilderness. We rely on the certainty beneath, the foundation of our values and ethics. We are a people who return to love like a North Star, and to the truth that we are greater together than we are alone. Our choir sang for us the words of Melanie Demore, "Blessed be the tree of life that grows within you and me, steady and true, rooted in love. Shelter and peace below and above." We strive to be a tradition of people who are grounded in love and who turn to that love to guide our aspirations and our connections, to give us support and inspiration. I think that one of the things that most excites and interests me about the new language being explored in our national conversation for the grounding of our Unitarian Universalist tradition and our association is the centering of love as the source, the root, the inspiration for the values and the covenants that we aspire to as a people. The absence of an explicit naming of love as central is something that has always challenged me about our current statement of principles. Though it's there if you can find it, we don't say it explicitly. When describing our values and our covenants, the new language that we're talking about begins, as Unitarian Universalists, we covenant congregation to congregation and through our association to support and assist one another in our ministry. We draw from our heritages of freedom, reason, hope, and courage, building on the foundation of love. Love is the power that holds us together and is at the heart, at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. The spiritual discipline of love. Not discipline as in punishment or control, not discipline as an area of study, but discipline as a practice, an intentional choice to explore, learn, struggle with, and grow in our ability to bring love into the world, into our lives, into our relationships and our institutions. Practice. So we often ask, what is a practice of love? What does the practice of love, what might it look like? Well, a perspective that I find powerful can be found in the Buddhist tradition. In his small, beautiful book, True Love, Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh shares that Buddhist tradition understands that love has four aspects: loving kindness or benevolence, compassion, joy, and equanimity or freedom. Each of these aspects of love needs to be practiced intentionally. It's not just about gaining knowledge, but about gaining the skill and grounding needed to live these aspects out in our relationships. Over and over again, Thich Nhat Hanh says training is needed, and you must practice. He provides suggestions for this practice, including meditation and the use of mantras. In order, for example, he says to practice the presence necessary to live into our relationships with love, being present with each other, truly present. He offers the mantra, "Dear one, I am here for you." We practice this so that when we are with a person or a people, we can be there with our whole hearts, listening for understanding, being present fully. He writes, to love in the context of Buddhism is above all to be there. But being there is not an easy thing. Some training is necessary, some practice. You are not there, how can you love? Being there is very much an art, because the art of meditation, because meditation is bringing your true presence to the here and now. He says we practice to bring about the oneness of our body and mind as we are present with others. This talk of practice reminds me of a short poem by Wendell Berry. If you've read Wendell Berry's poetry or essays or fiction, you'll know that his language is clear and graceful, often elegant and always powerful. He called this poem a warning to my readers. Do not think me gentle because I speak in praise of gentleness, or elegant because I honor the grace that keeps the world. I am a man crude as any, gross of speech, intolerant, stubborn, angry, full of fits and furies. That I may have spoken well at times is not natural. A miracle, a wonder is what it is. Think of Wendell Berry's poetry and then the elegance we show and the grace we hold up grow out of our intentional choices to be that way in the world. We don't lie, we don't speak dishonestly, we are clear about what we think. But we can choose intentionally in each moment and each relationship to ground ourselves in love. Thich Nhat Hanh expresses this as we must learn to speak with love again. It is a practice. It is hard work sometimes. It can be difficult, and we don't always succeed. But we can choose each time, and we can practice, practice, practice. This focus on practice comes through in the new language I was talking about earlier that our denomination is exploring. Grounded in love, we honor the values that grow out of that love. And from those values grow our covenants, our intentional ways, being and doing. And so the language of practice runs through the words that we are exploring. We learn, we celebrate, we cherish, we embrace differences, we support, we transform, we share, we build. One of these practices can be the development of culture of right relations. Here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Desert, we have a right relations policy. Now, our right relations policy quotes from material crafted by the Unitarian Universalist Ministers Association, as it defines right relationship as both an ethic and a practice. Right relationship as an ethic refers to our affirmation of the principles of interconnectedness and interdependence. Right relationship as an aspirational practice is manifest in our history and heritage as a covenantal people. Right relations honor our interconnectedness, acknowledge the ways that who we are as a community are shown by how we treat each other, how we relate to each other, how we deal with disagreement and conflict. And our history as a covenantal people asks us to see how that community is shaped. How are our relationships shaped by the promises we make to each other, the commitments we make to be better together, to grow love? Now, it might be odd, I know, to be referring to policy in a Sunday morning sermon. It feels like a mundane thing, really technical. But the policies we create for how we are as an institution grow or should grow out of our deepest convictions and commitments. And our right relations policy grows from our commitment to live together in a certain way, a way that nurtures connection, and a way that builds brave space where those who attend can bring their whole selves fully and safely. It invites us to live out our principles and covenants, not just in the larger work of the world, but in how we talk to and treat each other. It invites us to work to understand each other, to take responsibility for the impact we have on others in our community, to be direct, timely, and kind in our communications with each other. And it invites us to imagine pathways when we inevitably mess up and hurt each other. Remember a few weeks ago, there will always be mistakes, I said. Imagining ways back into covenant with each other. It is not perfect. You are not perfect. I am not perfect. We are not perfect. But we aspire to be better at all of this each day. Our Committee on Ministry and I will be sharing some opportunities in the next couple of months for us to engage in learning more about right relations here at UUCOD, and for us to learn some new skills and understandings. I hope you'll take advantage of these offerings that are coming in April and May. You may be wondering about the images you've seen in today's service. As always, we're grateful to Jack for his beautiful imagery. I shared with Jack that we'd be talking about right relationship and community, and then I would be sharing a bit about communities of animals and plants that sustain each other. You may have heard about the ongoing research about forests and trees and how trees are known to share nutrients with other trees, including other species of trees that they may be in competition with. How they have been seen to communicate through scent and root networks about the dangers faced by the larger community of the area. And we have seen how communities of species of animals and plants and fish and insects and fungi and all sorts of life have evolved and grown together as communities, their lives and sustenance intertwined in complex ways. It's a beautiful reminder, yes, of the web of life made manifest, a reminder that all of life, including we human animals, is intricately interdependent. We have made the importance of interdependence pretty central in our theology and our ethics in our tradition. And I am called to invite us to realize something on top of it, or beside them, or within them. Called by Wendell Berry's admission of his grumpiness, called by Thich Nhat Hanh's reminder that practice is necessary for love. We rely, as Teresa Soto says, on the certainty beneath, on the love we are rooted in, as our choir reminded us. And we choose to act in loving ways. We choose to be kind. We choose to be guided by the values that grow out of that rooting love. And we mess up, and we choose to return to each other in love. May we always choose to honor that root and choose love in every moment. I invite you to rise now in body or spirit as we sing our closing hymn, There is a love. There are 3 verses. It's on the words are not in your hymnal. They're on the screen above.
There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding all. I rest in this love.
There is love holding you.
There is a love holding you. There is a love holding all that you love. There is a love holding all. So rest in this love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love. We rest in this love. We rest in this love.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
A reminder that we are having our next film session in the Environmental Film Festival following the service in the community room, I believe. So please do join us. And for those of you who are online, the link is in the worship order of service. Thank you. Thank you, friend. Blessed be the tree of life that grows within you and me, sings our choir, singing the words of Melanie DeMore. As we depart this place today, ready to return to the daily world, may we, like that tree, remain rooted in love, steady and true to our commitments, to our covenants, to our values, to each other. May we continue the practice of love in every encounter, in every relationship. Go in peace, my friends, to love and serve the world.